Hello everybody and welcome back for the weekly VR news, where I break down everything going on in the VR industry, keep you up to date on the latest new releases, and then focus in on a few major stories. Today's news I am pretty pumped for because it looks like graphics on the Quest 2 are actually getting pretty damn good. An upcoming fighting game from the developers of Ven VR Adventures is looking almost too good to be true. The Quest Pro 2 was cancelled and then uncancelled in the same week. Quest version 56 is bringing some really cool updates. We have some exciting new flat to VR mods to go over, new game release dates, a giveaway, and much more. Now, there are of course the links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by my sponsor, Kiwi Design. They currently make my favorite Quest 2 Elite strap, which comes in multiple different versions. You can add an extra battery pack, high quality headphones, or even both. They also have other products like Valve Index style hand straps, and they just introduced a brand new RGB stand. Your controllers and headset magnetically connect. There's a charging indicator so you'll know when your headset's ready to go. And there's plenty of different RGB color options available. There's a link to Kiwi Design down in the description. And don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so let's start this video off with something exciting. And that's 5 keys to give away for the truly unique shooter VRickey. This game just received a huge arcade update, which provides an infinite survival mode with 3 difficulty levels. What really makes this game unique is its puzzle-like, top-down scroller shooting action, combined with having to physically dodge attacks. I really can't say I've played anything else quite like this, and if you're interested, there's 5 keys on screen right now for you guys to pick up. Now, speaking of unique games, our one and only title releasing this week is Phantom Matrix. It's self-described as a theatrical, physics-based stealth puzzle VR game. Someone in the comments go ahead and try and make up a genre name for this title, because I'm sure we're going to see plenty more theatrical, physics-based stealth puzzle VR games. But on a serious note, this is a room-scale title that will have you physically interacting with objects in order to solve puzzles. The developers must like the number 7 because there's 7 chapters, 7 boss levels, and 7 gadget abilities. While the trailer might not look great, looks can be deceiving, and there is a demo you can download to see if this game is right for you. Oddly, Steam lists similar games as Boneworks and Blade and Sorcery, so it looks like they need to play the demo more than anyone else. Now, unfortunately, July has been a pretty dry month for VR games, but we do have some excellent updates to go over. Switchback VR just received a major patch, which not only corrects some of their biggest bugs, but also enhances the overall visual quality. Now, I actually really enjoyed this game when it released, and was surprised to see so much criticism of it. There were complaints of things like extremely long load times and poor quality graphics, texture popping, which I oddly did not experience, and I spoke to people and it seemed like a 50-50 mix. Like, some people were like, no, the game looks clear, it's not blurry at all, and I'm not getting texture popping, and my load time is like 5 seconds. And I've seen that. I've seen people's videos where their load time is 5 seconds, which was mine. I counted mine. It's 5 seconds of load time. And people are like, no, it's extremely long. It was like Iron Man. It's definitely a PlayStation 4 game. So it almost seemed like there was 2 versions of the game out there, and this patch was to address the majority of that. So I'm happy it's here, and I hope more people can enjoy this game. Now, speaking of a game I hope we'll enjoy, we just got the release date trailer for Firewall Ultra, and I unfortunately have to say, this trailer looks terrible. It looks like a mediocre flat screen game. You know, they gave no implication that this is a VR title. I don't know what they were thinking or who approved this. Now, it might seem like I'm going a little bit too hard on Firewall Ultra, but their original title was one of VR's best shooters ever, and hands down the best one for the original PlayStation VR. Now, maybe high expectations are playing in a bit here, but I don't think that's the case. I am still pumped for this game. I think it will deliver, but we'll just have to wait until the end of next month to find out. Now, I also don't understand why they decided to release this in the same month as Crossfire Sierra Squad, another exciting upcoming shooter. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, let's move on to our next title that I'm excited for, which is Ziggy's Cosmic Adventure. This game has been in development for quite some time, with numerous demos popping up along the way. We just received their final teaser trailer, which shows off a bit of space combat, and the release of this spacefaring ship management action arcade title should be coming in the near future. And also coming soon is another Dr. Beef port, this time for Quake 4. Now, if you're not familiar with Dr. Beef or Team Beef, they've managed to get some of the best classic shooters to run natively on the Quest 2. This includes games like the original Half-Life, Doom 3, Duke Nukem, Wolfenstein, Jedi Knight, and right now, Quake 4 is in an alpha state. Now, Team Beef says the game looks absolutely fantastic in VR, and based solely on some of the flat screen footage I've seen, I have to agree. It really looks like a darker themed version of Red Matter 2. It's truly interesting how some of these older game engines seem to work so well in VR. And that right there is a great segue into our main topic, just how good the graphics are getting on the Quest 2. Monologic Games, the developers of Ven VR Adventure, actually just showed off some images from their new bare knuckle fighting game, and it looks too good to be true for Quest 2 footage. However, right there on screen, it says this is in-game Quest 2 footage. I'm going to take them at their word here, and I will say, color me impressed. This is looking fantastic. Now, I hope they didn't spend all their time just optimizing graphics and then the gameplay is shallow or runs like crap, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, these are early pictures. Things can change. This could be what it looks like now, but they just can't keep the performance running right, or they're keeping it this high because that's what it'll eventually look like on the Quest 3, and then they'll just, you know, scale back performance for the Quest 2. Who knows exactly what's going on here, but I will say the Quest 2 is coming a really long way. Now, this is a topic I recently discussed with Sadly It's Bradley. We started doing these technical conversations. I'll put a link to them. I hope you guys check them out. They're a lot of fun to do, and we just spew out a ton of information. However, we discussed how the Quest 3, you know, it's 2 teraflops. That's close to a PlayStation 4. And we know it's, you know, not apples to apples. It's a lot more apples to oranges there. However, the graphics we're expecting on the Quest 3 will be similar to VR games we saw for PC on a lowish end machine from 2016. That was the statement we made, which actually got a lot of backlash in the comments. And I want to clarify that. People were still trying to compare the XR2 Gen 2 chip to PC hardware from 2016. And that's not what we're comparing. A 1060 blows the Gen 2 away. And obviously that's a lower end card from years ago. It's not raw power we're discussing. There's been a ton of updates and optimization. Developers know what corners to cut. And obviously, you know, things are just getting more and more optimized for VR itself. So in that regard, we think the games can look along the same quality of 2016, 2017 PC VR on a lower end machine. But we don't think the hardware itself has the same performance capabilities. There's just, you know, it's not possible without bending the laws of physics. You have a low powered standalone device against tethered hardware plugged right into your outlet running at, you know, 500 to 1000 watts. There's just no comparison. But we've already seen impressive stuff with Hubris, Red Matter 2, and VRSO might be another one to add to that list. I'm hoping these become not the outliers in the future, but more and more common. Now, while we're talking about graphics and the Quest 3, Skydance Interactive has already announced that they're making an updated version of Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 for the Quest 3. Now, that title was originally available on the Quest 1, which is pretty damn amazing, but that hardware did significantly hold back the game, and I'm glad they're working on an update for the next generation. Now, on the topic of updates, Quest version 56 is giving us some major goodies, including hand tracking 2.2, which is set to reduce latency up to 40% during typical usage and 75% in fast movements. Version 56 is also adding an option to make sure your headset and games remain up to date. So even if you use the headset all the way down to 0% and it shut itself off, with this option enabled, the headset will turn itself back on when plugged in and automatically keep itself up to date. Now on the Quest Pro, we also got system-wide local dimming to help include black levels across the board. Facebook live streaming is also back if you care about that. The keyboard now has swipe typing. There'll be the option to remap your controllers, and eventually Quest Pro users will be able to use both the controllers and hand tracking at the same time. Now obviously none of these updates are going to drastically change your Quest experience, but it is definitely a push in the right direction. Now let's finish this video with the Quest Pro 2 getting canceled. Now that would make sense that Meta wants to cancel this device because the original Quest Pro was not well received. It's basically an overpriced dev kit, and I'm not a big fan at all. There's some cool things on it, but it is an overpriced dev kit that should not have been a consumer product. Putting that aside though, it has been reported they're stopping production on a Quest Pro 2. And again, like I said, that would make sense. But Boz went online and, you know, kind of kiboshed this in typical Boz way. You know, he said there's no Quest Pro 2 right now, and it's only canceled when we say it's canceled. He went into detail about how Meta just has tons of different prototypes in the works, which is true. We've seen some of their, you know, videos going over all the different prototypes, how they're trying to tackle VR from multiple different angles. And it's unlikely that they have a fully designed Quest Pro 2 right now. So nothing is really in production. Everything is in a state of flux. I don't think they're ready to, push out that new headset, unlike the Quest 3 and maybe something else next in the product line. But when it comes to the Quest Pro 2, they probably just, had made nothing official. So for someone to say it's canceled, well, it was never official to begin with. And that was the direction he was taking the conversation. You always got to read between the lines. Obviously, if you work for a company, you always want to put them in the best light, put things on your terms, make it sound as best as possible. Truth is probably somewhere a little bit in between. Obviously, they don't want to say, yeah, the Quest Pro was a complete failure and we're not going to do that product line. Of course not. So this is their way around it. We will obviously see more things from Meta. Will it be a Quest Pro 2? I'm still saying unlikely. And that was today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Again, more feedback on the face-to-face. I enjoy getting up close personal with you guys. More feedback would be appreciated. If there's anything you think I should change. And just thank you guys for continually supporting me. It means a lot. Throw that thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Maybe turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys on next time.